Welcome to B-Movie Euphoria, where we're doing yet another episode in the series of I.R.S. media films. And this is today's film. Well, let's forget that. Today we have a very, very special guest with us, and that is my good friend and fellow podcaster, because we did the B-Movie Euphoria podcast together. Josh Spanninga is with us.
Thank you.
How are you doing, Josh?
Our last podcast was, I was thinking about this the other day. I think our last podcast was They Live, shortly before Roddy Piper died.
Yes.
Or made it to the internet because we had audio issues that
exactly
not get worked out.
But we had some really good hot dog pizza.
So my first impression of it, I really enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny. I felt like it reminded me, I think I mentioned to you earlier off air that I mentioned John Waters, and I feel like it actually reminded me a little bit the first time of like a Paul Bartel film or like John Waters adjacent type film. Yeah, I just thought it was charming and funny. And the second time I watched it just recently, a couple of days ago, it was a lot more annoying. It was still like, I still got laughs out of it. It was still fun, but the stuff that I overlooked the first time around was not so easy to overlook the second time around. The second time around, I actually was really interested because I noticed in the title, like during the title credits, it said it was based on Just Like the Pom Pom Girls.
Yes.
Screenplay. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit, but that stuck out to me. And I think the second time I viewed it as a stage production kind of, but at shot on film.
Right.
And that would be a really annoying play to sit through.
I noticed that as well, that it was a stage play, and I definitely noticed more, a little bit in the first watch, but I definitely noticed more that everything had a very stagey feel to it. Like the apartment felt like, a set. It never really felt like an actual apartment. And there weren't that many places. The movie didn't go that many places. It was like maybe 3 sets in total.
Yeah, there weren't really, I don't know if there were any outdoors, maybe aside from the title sequence.
The writer of the movie was also the writer of the play. And I think because I looked it up a little bit, I think the director of the film also directed the play, and it was performed at the Groundlings Theater.
Oh.
I guess we should get into the plot of the movie.
Sure.
So basically, in this movie, we have, thank God I have the VHS handy so I can read the back. We have Claire Vinblanc, or also at some point she's called Miss Bump.
Miss Bump.
Miss Bump. And she's living in like a kind of rundown Hollywood apartment with her daughter, Baby, played by Blair Tefkin, who she hasn't really been in a whole lot of movies, but she was in Fright Night Part 2.
Okay.
Which is the lesser known Fright Night movie, but I really like it. And it's directed by the same guy who did Halloween 3, which I also really like.
I've not seen Fright Night 2.
I think you would like it, actually.
Yes, I probably would.
I think you would enjoy it. It's basically the same plot, but this time, and the same actors. They brought everybody back, except this time it's a female vampire.
Well, shit, yeah.
William Ragsdale.
Do you mind if I borrow these?
If you thought one was fun, Wait till you do, too. Fright Night 2. Apparently, the suckers are back.
So Blair Tefkin, an adult, plays Baby, who I think is supposed to be like 7 or 8.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. It's weird.
We'll get into that in a second.
Yeah,
but basically, she lives at this rundown Hollywood apartment with her daughter, and the daughter's teacher is getting upset because Baby is continuously late for school and not doing well in school. And the teacher has this kind of affection for Baby and, makes her lunch. And Baby likes her teacher too, to an annoying degree. Oh God, everything with Baby is so annoying.
Baby likes everything to an annoying degree.
Oh God.
She's very enthusiastic about everything. She talks in a very baby-like voice, even though she's obviously a grown woman.
My mama always says, if you ever find a teacher in our house, she's going to spank them until they're screaming for an ambulance.
This is clearly a riff kind of on John Waters, at least his sensibilities.
Yes.
And how it works in Female Trouble with Mink Stoll playing the daughter, and she's clearly an adult person. It doesn't work here so much because I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because her voice is really annoying.
It's one of those things that I think it probably looked really good on paper.
Yeah.
They probably saw the actress and she did a great audition, and it was probably funny for the 30 seconds that she was doing the audition.
Baby's mom is kind of a washed up dancer who used to dance for the Sonny and Cher show.
Yes. And what was the actually we forgot to mention the dentist thing in the beginning.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. The movie opens up with a shot of a dentist in a dentist chair, but with a gun at his neck, and clearly he's just blown his own head off. And then a grown-up baby talking normally, like a normal human being, comes in, is like, oh my God. And then she starts talking to her daughter, who I think also has a really silly name, but I can't remember it right now. It's Sweetie.
I did not catch that, and
I think it's only in the credits, honestly. So she starts talking to her daughter, and she's like, yeah, Daddy's not coming back, but here's a really great story about me and my mom.
You was a little girl like me? That's right. Mom and I used to love to stay up late and watch TV.
The problem is Claire, or Baby's teacher, wants to call child services on Claire to get the baby taken away because she sees the way that Baby lives and all the stuff that Baby tells her as being, not great for a child to be experiencing.
At one point there is a scene where there's a lot of pink frilly stuff, but there is this pink frilly rug on the floor that we totally have, like pretty much the same thing in our bathroom up here. Upstairs. A lot of liquor laying around.
Yeah, a lot of drinking is happening. So Claire is she's still reveling in the days of when she was a dancer, and apparently she fell off a tour bus and sprained her leg or her ankle, and that's what ended her dancing career. And I guess that was a joke, or maybe it wasn't, but to me I was like, you sprained your ankle and that was it, and then you're done.
Maybe 30, 40 years ago it would have, I don't know.
Maybe we didn't have the medical science that we do now as far as rolling ankles.
That is true.
So she's caught in the past. She's caught in the past. She's kind of like, depressed. But she loves her daughter, clearly, and they have a good relationship. but at the same time, she's a little horny. And
But she likes the sinful life.
yes, a sinful life. Also, let me jump onto that for a second. So there's a theme song.
Yes, I noticed.
At the very end of the movie, and it is done by a band called Timbuk 3.
Okay.
Which, it's fine name, but that was one of the bands that was in the IRS roster. And so it makes sense that Miles Copeland, the guy who ran IRS and everything, was like, yeah, let's just use this one.
Don't want nothing fancy. Don't need nothing new. Nothing too expensive. Just a sinful life with you.
We have Claire and we have Baby, and I think Claire's getting anxious because Baby's teacher is planning on coming over. And then at the same time, Claire has seduced the janitor that works at the hotel, or not the hotel, the apartment building that she lives at. And janitor's played by Rick Overton, who I think I've seen in other stuff maybe before. So I think he's a pretty well-known character actor. So there's a very good sex scene between her and the janitor.
Yes, before I think this is the part where this did make me laugh very hard, where I think it was when he comes in and she takes a bottle of liquor and puts it on her hand and dabs herself with his perfume, and then runs after him to seduce him. And
yes. And so another scene that I thought was very funny and I actually laughed at was they're in bed and first she seduces him by saying, do you want to come and see my signed photograph of Sonny Bono? Yeah. And that's how she lures him into the bedroom. And then she turns on the lights in the bedroom and it's all just beer.
Yeah. It actually looked, I was a little jealous, honestly, if I'm being honest.
So she seduces the janitor. And at one point they're doing it. And you see the janitor's shoe is kind of tipped over, and then a cockroach crawls out of there. Yes. And then there's also another cockroach crawling on his back that she flicks off. And then you see those two cockroaches doing it.
That was some Tarkovsky shit. That was deep. It was beautiful.
It was probably the most beautiful scene in the movie.
Before that, though, I do I believe shortly after is when Teresa comes over, right? And we're introduced to Teresa.
Yes, thank you.
And she comes over, and one of my favorite lines from the movie, Claire says, when she has sex with him, she just closes her eyes and pretends he's Bigfoot.
Teresa's played by Mark Rolston, who is a very well-known character actor. He's been in tons of stuff. Rush Hour.
Okay.
Just the first Rush Hour. That was it. The all of the line delivery was really good, and all of her lines were just fantastic. And I think they just gave her, or they gave the actor just everything, all the good stuff.
Yeah. May I quote Teresa? There's a part where she knocks on the door, and I believe Baby says, "Who is it?" And Teresa says, "Someone who's going to rape and kill you."
But it's so Baby, sweet coming out of Teresa's mouth,
Because then Baby turns around, runs, and is like, Mommy, Teresa's here.
So we have Teresa, and she just comes over. She's like another person that lives, I think, in the apartment building.
Yes. Yep.
And so we have that, and then after the disastrous event where the teacher comes over and says, I'm going to take Baby away from you. Look at the state of this couch, which is a very weird thing to
it's not super weird because the janitor was passed out underneath a blanket on the couch because Baby made him a rum cake with a bunch of her mom's value. It was a little trashy and safe for children.
Yeah, that's true. But so Claire takes this as, I need to get a new couch. If I'm going to keep baby and not have the Child Protective Services take away my baby, I need to get a new couch. So her plan is she's going to seduce Dennis
Flowers.
Christopher, who's playing Nathan Flowers, because he's kind of not wealthy, but he's well-to-do, and he's got some cash.
Well, he's the credit manager at Sears, so he can
Sears Roebuck.
Sears Roebuck.
Yes.
So he agrees to buy her the couch as an engagement present.
Yes.
So that baby may be converted to Christianity. They discuss it for a minute, and that's what they come to. Baby needs to be converted. The only way to do that is to get this peach sofa. The only way that's going to happen is if she marries him. Bada bing, bada boom.
So we have the janitor who's now finding out that basically Claire is kind of dumping him because she wants a better life for her baby. She wants to keep her baby. And the only way to do that is to marry Nathan Flowers. And so everything just converges in this like final thing. And that's when I really felt things started getting stagey and started just feeling very farcical, which isn't bad, but it was just a lot of characters acting so over the top and so ridiculous that it takes you out. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, the whole movie up till this point is a little over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point is when it just becomes bizarre. The maintenance man character ends up marrying the teacher, which is a little bit of a spoiler, but
it's not. It
never made sense to me, though.
It still doesn't.
Like, the couch situation makes more sense to me than that does. But yeah,
and I guess they're using like really over the top situations like as a kind of a comedy crutch, because you're like, oh, this is already funny. We don't really need to like make it any more funny. The situation's already hilarious.
Well, we forgot to mention that the reason that the teacher can take baby, or is trying to take baby away, she's trying to find the father, because baby was conceived when got stuck in a sperm bank during an earthquake and was up to her hips in sperm. So she literally does not know who the father was. So yeah, the teacher goes through all of the from the sperm bank, and she's trying to find a father so that she can take baby away.
The character of the teacher was just so two-dimensional and so like, I am evil teacher. Like, what was her motivation? Because it wasn't believable to me that she would just, like, I kind of get it because her mom's drinking all the time and baby probably tells her that or something, but there's no real abuse happening in the house.
This is going to sound like a total insult, and I guess it's a little bit, but not. Like, I don't think the teacher character, I think, is fine. I feel like she's kind of a defanged Miss, what's the name of Mary Warrenov's character in Rock and Roll High School?
Oh my God. Something.
It's like Hogar.
Hogar.
Yeah, the teacher in this kind of was like a defanged version of her.
Yeah, like a sweet version.
Can we do a spoiler alert section, or? Yeah,
okay. So from here on
at this point,
spoiler alert.
If you care about that.
Yes. And okay, well, before we say anything, I'm gonna say I would say go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
But don't watch it again. That's my
one and done.
It's a one and done, and it is interesting. But yeah, okay. Spoilers.
So yeah, spoilers. all of this chaos is going down inside of the apartment, which most of the movie takes place in the apartment, but at this point it's just like all of the characters from throughout,
Right.
all in there yelling at each other.
Yes.
The janitor got married to the teacher, who's in there yelling and trying to take baby away from
Claire.
the Bible thumping
Oh, yes.
credit manager. And
At one point, there's even like a tug of war.
physical
with
tug
baby,
of war.
which obviously you probably shouldn't do that with a real child.
Yeah, that point would have. but then, so the spoiler portion, Teresa pops up,
Mm-hmm.
and they mention what's the name? Her Harlow.
Yes, Harlan. Harlan was this great love that Claire had, and she always like thinks about Harlan and dreams of him, which is very strange. Like, if you were kind of transfixed on somebody, wouldn't you notice that it doesn't matter?
But yes, so this love of her life from the past, turns out Teresa tears her wig off, and voila, it's Harlan. But
it's not.
Oh no, it's no longer Harlan.
Yeah.
Teresa goes on to explain,
Like the corners of my mind.
They find out because Harlan, who was Claire's great love and everything, I think he worked at the semen factory.
So he was an employee at the sperm bank, and he was there when the earthquake hit.
Yes.
Was presumed dead,
and that's why Claire just pined for him and just oh my god. And so at this point in the movie where everyone's clamoring to have custody of baby, God knows why, so Teresa pulls her wig off and reveals that yes, she has short hair, and basically explains that she was Harlan, but Harlan is dead.
Harlan did die that night. I think that's her exact paraphrase.
Yeah, and everyone, like, obviously the Bible thumper is like, oh, at that point, but after that reveal, it's just immediately accepted. And
I actually really appreciated the Bible thumper. His response was to immediately yell, "Lesbians!"
No, it was the janitor. It was the janitor that yelled it. Yeah,
lesbians.
Lesbians!
I actually really appreciated that, because it's like, oh, you are recognizing Teresa as...
Yeah, he just immediately accepted it because it was fact, and that's what happened. And then he's just like, also fuck you.
Yeah, and that's what so the whole time I was watching this with Teresa's character, that's what I was expecting. I was like cringing and expecting a punchline at some point. Like, yeah,
because the rest of the jokes were so bad in this movie.
Like it's gonna be at her expense. And then when this happens and she's just accepted, and I'm like, that was kind of beautiful. I really liked that. It
was just a very kind of lovely thing to see in a movie that came out like 40 years ago, maybe not, like 35 years ago, something like that. Yeah. And it was just a trans character being accepted for who she was. Mm-hmm. And there was it wasn't a thing. It was just like, no, I'm saving the day because I used to be this person, and I can take care of Claire, and I can take care of baby, and everything is fine.
And Claire is just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, that's fine. And she accepts it, and so the deal is like they get married, and so then they're both responsible for baby, which Okay. Beautiful ending. I will give the movie, this ending is just lovely, and it's just like these two people that are clearly the ones that do love baby get baby in the end, and that is a heartwarming and lovely little ending. But the fucking things we had to go through to get to that ending.
Yeah, that movie, it had 75% less baby.
Yes.
I mean, then it wouldn't have made sense, but
no.
those were all of the scenes, though. I think her being an adult made it extra weird because all of the scenes at school, it was just her alone in the classroom with the teacher. There were no kids around.
No other students, like, clearly, so it wouldn't look weird.
Did you watch it with subtitles or no?
No, I watched it on this tape.
On the tape. Okay. I rented it on Amazon and watched it with subtitles.
Did that help?
Baby was still annoying. What she said was annoying. So, no, it did not help.
What? Okay, was the Amazon version in widescreen or was it like?
It was widescreen. I believe it was widescreen. Yeah.
So I wonder if that would make things better if you saw it in its original format of how it was meant to be seen.
Yes.
Maybe we'd see more cockroaches like crawling in the background.
There are multiple cockroaches throughout the film. So.
There are, yeah. That's a sure tell sign that it's like a grimy, slimy kind of thing.
I do think that the writing is probably some of the writing is probably what harmed this film. I think they needed to, I have a feeling that they needed to edit it more.
Yes. I feel
successful as a film.
I feel like it was a very good play.
Yeah.
That
if I was there in person and baby was yelling at me and I could yell back at her to shut the fuck up.
Mommy, it's Grandma and Grandma.
Here, sweetie. We brought you a little birthday present.
Yes, we thought you might like something nice, what with your pa shooting himself and all.
A pom-pom outfit.
When we see Teresa and Claire at the end of the film come into the room and they're just so well put together and healthy and loving.
Yeah.
I take it as Teresa swoops in and saves Claire's life.
Yeah.
As she had this missing part of her when Harlan died.
Yeah.
Now that she knows, now that she's aware, Teresa is kind of the rebirth, a new person out of Harlan. Then she embraces it and can shed all of her vices.
I got that sense too. When you see them later in the future, we see them as still a happy couple, even though Teresa just made out with a stock boy at the grocery store they'd just gone to, which I thought that was a great little stinger in there.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for mentioning John Waters, though, because
yes,
I am reading right now his new novel, Liar Mouth, and I 100% recommend this, even though I haven't finished it. So I just want to say that. It's really good.
Recommendations? Can I do a recommendation?
Yeah, do it.
Squeak the Mouse is, I think most people would recognize the similarities to Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah.
Which Itchy and Scratchy was like based on Squeak the Mouse, essentially. It's this, I think he's an Italian, Mattioli. He's this Italian comics artist who did a bunch of strips, and it basically, they take like Tom and Jerry type situations to the extreme, like the violent extreme.
Wow.
There's murder, there's a lot of sex.
Oh my God.
Stuff. But this specific edition that just came out from Fantagraphics, I believe. Yeah, Fantagraphics. It's beautiful. It's giant.
Wow, that is gorgeous. Like just the cover itself is really something.
That's like when you open it, that's the first couple pages, but yeah, it's all in color.
Oh my God. I love it.
Characters getting killed. And the great thing about it, the reason I thought it was appropriate for this is like this one. I don't know if you can see.
Oh my God, yes.
I do wonder what percentage of a film's budget goes towards soundtracks, do you think? Like, did they legitimately do this as a way thinking like we'll save money by not having to pay for a soundtrack? Or are they trying to promote their music through film?
I think it was a little bit of, column A and column B. I think it was like, well, these people already work for us. So, I mean, they're going to let us use, and they want the promotion and they want people to listen to their music. So of course they want to be in this movie. But yeah, I guess I'm learning more that these movies are, they're very distinct and very interesting. But I'm glad we did this. I'm glad that we watched yet another IRS film. I soft recommend it. It's available on Amazon, I think, right?
Yes. Well, you have to rent it, but
yeah. Okay. So it's like $2.99, $1.99.
It's a $3.99er. So
really,
it is.
Oh man.
So I paid for it twice.
Oh man.
We'll say it's worth renting once because you're not going to see it any other way unless you have a tape like Nick does.
Yes.
But it's going to be way harder to track down.
Actually, there's a few copies on eBay right now. So I am so glad you did this review with me. And that's all from B-Movie Euphoria. And see you next time.
See ya.
Bye. Bye, Josh.
Bye.
Good luck, buddy.